Damn it. I clicked it like 3 times and I was like, wait a minute, is it live? Is it not live? Can they see me? Can they not see me? What's up, y'all? How you doing? A little background music. I'm kind of getting sick of the saxophone action, but we'll let it play out because I didn't have time to load anything else in there yet. What's up, y'all? How you guys doing? This shit's about to get crazy, I feel like. Oh, man, so much happening. That part's a little weird of the song. Do you guys know this song? You guys heard of this? Heard this song before? It's older. I'm a sucker for saxophone. Sucker for a little Kenny G. You know what I mean? Hope you guys are doing well. Good afternoon. All right, enough of that. Back to the silence of myself, talking to myself. I went on the Glinton Things podcast Sunday. It was a lot of fun. It was so a midnight toker. What's the name of that song? The Joker, Steve Miller Band. We could play that. My midnight is in your 6. Okay, I don't even know. Now you guys are just talking to yourselves amongst the comments. I hope everybody is doing well. Played the alto sax in middle school. Really? Would you jam like that? Hiller looks a lot like Souza. Hiller will be here. Don't you wait. It was actually funny. I was like, all right, dude, I'm going to get the show rolling and then jump in like 10, 15 minutes, whatever. And he's like, you asshole, you told me this right now. I was like, sorry. So he's going to come in. I want to chat with you guys. Okay. I'm super pumped about this. Are you guys pumped? We got the affiliate contest. It's going down. The affiliate video contest. I'm bringing up the school platform here. It's free. You guys could sign up. We got this whole entire forum going about the contest right here. If you guys haven't seen, we have this whole entire link here. I'll get back to that in just 1 second. Also, too, we put together this like official like community map. I don't know if it's going to change the screen. I'll have to show this. But if you guys are joining on here, join this. Let me show you guys. Join the map of where you are. Where in the world are you when you join the platform? Because what we're going to be doing here is we're going to see where all these videos are coming from across the globe, hopefully. So I know a few people reached out and it's like, I'm in France. I'm in Australia, mate. That was bad. Sorry about that. And they were like, hey, can I still do the video? And I'm like, yeah, of course you can. It's available for anybody in the world. But we put up this little map here so you guys could kind of see where everybody is. And what we're going to be doing afterwards is if affiliates want to join the contest, but they don't have any creators or people that can make the video inside, or they just want a little extra help, we'll be connecting you guys via location on this map, or you could reach out to them directly inside of the school platform. So go and check that out. Sign up for it. And then we have all the official rules here. You guys can get this link inside of the platform, as well as on my Instagram, as well as on the Savon Podcast Instagram. Partnering with Two Brain Business here. This is all the details. This is how you enter. These are the resources. We just talked about that with the platform. This is all the requirements listed out, the instructions here. And then additional tips and what have you. But we're going to be sharing a lot of information back and forth inside the school platform to help each other out as far as making some really good videos and get you a shot at winning $5,000. Potentially pay for your affiliate fees. Heidi Crum. So wait, we can private message people on there? You can. Are you able to send pictures via school platform, private DMs? Where's this going? I think you can. I don't know. I haven't sent any photos to there, but I think so. Are you providing bumpers? Yes. Jonathan, yes. You clearly have not looked at anything that I've done, because if you went there for 2 seconds, you would see that the bumpers are downloadable. Yeah, we have it all via like Google Drive. So you guys could go there. There's the links that'll be provided. You just click it and then it's an open access link and you'll be able to download everything there. You guys like this Crash shirt? A rhino smoking crack? Oh, what the hell? There's like weird dust on my shirt. Rhino smoking crack. CrossFit Crash. Smoky like cheap crack. So yeah, so go check that out. We're going to be doing a bunch of cool stuff in there. I'm really excited to see all these commercials and to play them. And I do believe we're even going to have somebody else join the contest and provide $1,500 and $300. So $1,000 to first place, $500 to second place, $300 to third place, to actually use those videos as ads in your local market. Want to love. You have crack on your shirt. Yeah, exactly. I didn't see it. Sorry to be a disappointed dad. Not disappointed, but angry. Shout out to Daniel for sending me that. Um, so yeah, so anyways, you guys can go in there and get all the information. If you need anything more, you could just either hit people up inside there or just send me a message, and I'll make sure that we have all the information provided for you guys. Before we get into all the stuff you guys are here for me and Andrew to talk a little bit about what's going on in the CrossFit ecosystem, I found this clip and I thought it was interesting here.
Version of Fruit Loops that they undoubtedly produce in this country, in the US. They already make it and they already have the formulation for it here, and they ship it up to Canada. And yet the one that they sell here has red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, blue 1, and BHT. All of those ingredients are not included in their international version of Fruit Loops. Why do they sell Americans the shittier, less safe version here? They've acknowledged that natural food colorings are less bright. Yeah. And when they're less bright, they're less attractive to children. Americans want the brighter cereal. That's what they say. Oh, yeah. And that's right. And here's the worst part, Mark. The worst part, in some of the food dyes cases, they're not fully banned, but they require a warning label, similar to the warning label you would have on cigarettes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the warning label says, ingredients in this food product may impair your children's learning ability, and may cause behavioral disorders in your children.
Right.
And then personally, both of my children are very affected by Red 40 in particular, where my son will come back from a birthday party and he'll be acting like a lunatic. He'll be jumping off the walls. He won't be able to sit still. And my wife and I will literally say to him, Tyson, what did you eat? And he'll say, oh, I had some Skittles, or oh, I ate some Charmed Blow Pops, or oh, I had some Fruit Loops, or whatever it is. And when we remove the food dyes from their diets, it is a noticeable behavioral change.
Huge.
And there are countless parents that I have met that notice the same thing.
What do you guys think? You see this first comment here where it says literally zero real studies. Okay, just kind of literally real studies and evidence suggests that dye is harmful at small levels. Stop lying. It's the sugar, not the food dye. I mean, I don't know. I think the food dye is probably not good for you at all either. And then when you talk about that small level, but what if that's a consistent part of my diet for a span of multiple years? Is it still considered a small level at that point? But when he said the thing about the party, and he's like, and my kid goes there and he has red 40, then he comes back and bouncing off the walls. I'm like, is it just because of all the other crap he ate there too? Like, how do you specifically know it was the red 40? Anyways, semantics, because I still agree with the overall message. And what we allow and regulate here in the US for our foods relative to what happens outside of the US, there is different changes. Like if you guys have gone somewhere and like had like shitty junk food in Europe, or even in Mexico or something like that, it tastes like a little bit different. And that's because they use slightly different ingredients due to regulations. And so it's kind of funny too, like when you think about it in terms of what we allow here by our trusted institutions versus like what we're allowed to ship to other countries due to their regulations. Just crazy. Yeah. Anyways, wanted to share that with you guys. Who's the guy that's sitting next to him? Fuck, I know he's famous or whatever and had like a talk show, but he's interesting because sometimes I agree with what he says, and then sometimes I'm like, no, not at all. Not even in the same Richter level. Okay, then this I just found as fascinating here. Absolutely fascinating. Kenneth Elapse, small level, not if you eat it consistently for years. Yeah, that was my thought too, right? Like, it was literally my first thought. Souza, over 12 years ago, we removed food dyes from my son's diet because we were seeing such negative reactions. Typically, a day or two after he'd eaten the dyes, he would have massive meltdowns. You know, have you guys seen? God, I cannot remember the documentary, but anyways, it was kids with like extreme like autism and stuff, and they stripped all the processed food out of their diet, and they only were allowed to eat real whole foods. And there was this huge, it's like really tough for parents because the kids just have constant meltdowns and go like crazy when they try to switch their diet. But inevitably, like survival will kick in. And after, you know, whatever certain period of time of them not eating, they'll eat what's in front of them. And the differences that occurred in kids with autism in their cognitive ability, their speech ability, their social abilities, like started just becoming better and better and better. And it's like, I mean, I know I'm preaching to the freaking choir here with this, but it's like, it's crazy when you think about all the shit that's in our food. And then we talk about some of the issues like, oh, mental health issues. It's like, yeah, dude, we're feeding like each other mush here. Like foods that literally are so ultra processed and packed full of stuff so they could like ship it around places that it's like it just becomes not even real food. And I heard this and again, I don't know if this is true or not, but like at places where they preserve bodies, like at funeral homes and stuff like that, they didn't have to use as much embalming fluid as years went on because we eat so much ultra processed stuff that some literal bodies would just decompose much, much more slowly. And I know you guys have probably seen this with like the McDonald's hamburger and they let it sit there for like a month and it looks exactly the same. God, man, I swore in the first 10 minutes. I said I was going to do that. Where do you find that video? I know which one you're talking about. Franco, Souza, question, knowing you have access to Craig Glassman, have you asked him if he would stayed affiliated? I have not asked him that. I have a feeling I may know his answer, but that's a interesting question. No, I haven't seen it. Sarah Cox, what's up, Sarah? How you doing? I don't know why I read your name as if I don't know you. Hi, Sarah. We are trying to say that toddlers won't have meltdowns, though if they don't eat junk food. Absolutely not. Toddlers are still going to have meltdowns regardless, right? But in terms of like their ability to bounce back from that, or to in this case of the video that I was referencing, like them to have more social interaction and have more cognitive function was definitely apparent. What happened to your light? Did it go out? It's on. Okay. All right. So with no further ado, we're going to bring on, I think the light's fine, Mr. Andrew Hiller. Welcome to the show. You get a big like applause and a music button.
Don't you get dinged for this?
No, because if I talk over it, it's fine. You like that? That was a big intro.
Yeah, it was good.
Like Buttery Bros style?
Oh, no, please don't. You're going to immediately get less views for that.
Hey, I realize we don't have little name thingies on here. I don't know why it's like that in my brand, but not.
Probably a button on the side you got to press. Under banners or brand or something.
There it is. What's with the shirt on?
Yeah, I got 1L.
Already, right off the back. I sent you the clip, and then I realized I was like, wait a minute, can you you could just get on this without me. You don't even need a fucking link. I'm going to show something real quick that has nothing to do with what we're going to talk about. But I had it queued up here. And I just thought this was fascinating that we live in this place where you could go to, I don't know if this is like a public, it would be considered a public area or if it's a private university, but these people bordered all this shit off in names of a protest. It kind of just looks like a big camping, like hangout festival. But then they do this, block you out, and then this guy's riding around a bike trying to film inside of it. And these guys with the umbrellas apparently are trying to block him from being able to see inside there. And also are
you can stand up at least. Come on.
Yeah, blocking him from asking questions or being in it all. It's kind of crazy.
Here. What is this?
This is a protest, like a pro-Palestine protest at a college.
Full video.
This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
That's what I thought when I first saw it. I was like, I didn't like. What is happening, right?
This dude.
How did people have time to do this?
Because they're living off of fucking school loans and mommy and daddy's money, and they're here and they're righteous and they're
we're getting
being activists. Now, I was impressed by this guy because, or gal, I don't want to assume anybody's gender here on this campus, but this guy ran pretty far after the bike. And
this is the most annoying video I've ever seen in my life.
Exactly. That's
what are they doing with these umbrellas?
They're that's like their defense mechanism because they could pop that up and like obstruct your view. And then technically,
I can't hear you over this.
Oh, sorry,
man.
Sorry. So the umbrellas are apparently supposed to like abstract your view from being able to see inside there. And then they also create this barrier that like if you come up and start pushing up against that umbrella or something, like technically that could be seen as like assault or whatever. So they do that thing like where they're like, I'm not hitting you, but they're just like super fucking annoying because then if you lash out, they're going to be like, see, look what you did. And then you get in trouble.
Where is that?
I forget which college campus this is.
Why wouldn't you just come with your own umbrella?
And just umbrella them back?
Yeah.
Right? Just
like a
double,
longer one.
just double down.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the deal. I've been doing some digging around, dude. And I got a question for you. Okay. And you can't lie to me. Okay. Don't do it.
Okay.
Do you feel nervous right now?
No.
Damn it. Okay. Because I've been digging around and I got something for you here. Okay. Exposed live on my show for the viewers. I'm going to use this clip here.
Am I your first guest?
You're my second guest.
Oh,
I had
you
Doc-
read on
Doc-
the doc, right?
Yeah, Dr. Sean Rocket. Yep. Okay. So I was doing some digging around and I noticed, number one, there's 4 Hiller Fit Instagrams.
Are there? I thought there were 3.
Okay, so there's 3 Hiller Fit Instagrams, right? There's 3 of them. Then I also notice that sometimes you sign things with Coach Andy.
I've done that in the past, yeah.
You did that in the past. And then sometimes I hear Andrew, and then sometimes I hear Hiller. Okay, so here's the question. Just come clean. Okay? How many people actually fucking work for you? How many people?
Just, you think there's just different people signing off differently for me?
There has to be, dude. There's okay, and here's why. And this is what really made me. I was like, all right, fuck it. The jig's up. I'm calling this dude out. I'm having him on the show, and we're gonna get down. You made like 50 of these things,
60.
and they popped up overnight.
I put them up. What, about 11 a.m. yesterday, maybe? I'm actually making more as we speak. So
holy shit, dude.
You know what I mean. And Andy is making more as we speak.
I was like, I'm gonna screw them a little bit because I wanted to talk to you about this and about some of the other stuff, but like, I was just like, dude, this is insane.
They're decent, right?
You did all of these, right?
Right. I had a couple of different thoughts on these, and I wanted to make them just good enough where the athletes would consider using them themselves. And I wanted to also make them better than CrossFit could ever. And I think that both of those were accomplished.
Damn.
I've seen a lot of people like speculate about why I did it.
Yeah.
Like, number one, I just do this stuff, right?
Right.
And number two, I'm just acting as if I am CrossFit's Instagram account now. So I'm imagining like, hey, this is what I think that they should do. And I know that they won't listen, so I'll just do it on my own.
And so that's what just inspired you just to go ham with these, with the athlete interviews that Dave was doing and converting them into small little clips.
I was sitting, it was like 9:30 a couple nights ago, and I'm sitting there with Alexis, and I paused it. We were watching one of them. I think it was the one with Quant. And I go, Alexis, I'm just going to turn this into a clip. Like, why not? And then actually my initial thought was I was going to send it to Dave. I'm like, here, Dave, use it. But I don't know if I want to give him more work to do.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd use it myself.
And did you collab with any of the athletes or CrossFit Instagram or
yeah,
or
I think a handful of them accepted. Like I know Luckett accepted. I think Ibarra accepted. Luke Parker accepted. And then there was someone else. A couple of them used them. But CrossFit didn't accept any of them, and neither did Dave.
So what gave you the thought of like, and I'm kind of setting up here too, because we had the same thought, and it's kind of funny because I watched your video with after the Pedro Don interview, and I don't know if you watched the show that I did with his interview, but
yes,
touch your face too. But we hit on the same point, similar points, and had kind of similar responses.
My favorite thing you brought up that I don't think I really went in as hard with was the food thing. Right. Pedro brought up the stipend that they get, the level 1 seminar staff.
Yeah.
And how it was like brought down.
Yeah.
And then I think you went a little harder on that than I did.
Dude, did you see his body language in that when he brought that up? It looked like Don wanted to reach through the screen and like punch him.
I was at Costco and I was holding on to like a giant thing of ribeyes when you brought that up. I remember where I was when you were talking about it. He's like, yeah, he kind of triggered Don there.
Yeah, he definitely did, because that was like, not only was it something that obviously struck a nerve, but then he had like clearly very specific information. So there was probably this part of like, fuck you, freak this up, and also like, damn, how did you even know that? But yeah, it was funny because I watched your video obviously, and I was like, oh dang, like we had similar threads of different things, kind of attacked it from different ways, but kind of almost had similar answers, at least in the first part. I didn't really go into the part where they talked about you at all because I figured you were probably going to do something on that. There was no reason to do that. So I just stayed towards the first part of the interview. But it was interesting how many similar thoughts we've had. And one of the things that I've heard you say a lot that I agree with, and we've had this conversation before, is like the affiliate is like this microcosm of everything that's happening. It's like almost like a microcosm of like the United States or something
of
like this.
everything, always, all the time.
And why do you think that?
It's just experience. I mean, from what I've seen, whether it be, I was a very different person in my time before I was an affiliate owner, even like through college. I wouldn't have really recognized myself. So I grew a lot in there. I learned a lot in there. And the more you realize that there's all sorts of different types of people that come on in. And then many of them are just there for the group of people themselves. You'll see people from high level business. You'll see people who have no idea about business. You'll see the meatheads. You'll see rather educated. You'll see people who barely speak English. And through all those different people, once you kind of talk to them quite a bit and you see what makes them tick, you can learn quite a bit about people in general. And then as a business, I think it's very applicable to many businesses.
Yeah.
Or better or worse.
And I completely agree with you. And I didn't really even know how to answer that. But the way that you said it, like I was a completely different person from like going into the afterwards. I did fix your name.
I liked it the way it was. That was the fifth person.
Oh,
this isn't me. This is someone else.
Well then, excuse me.
No. I'm messing.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you're just a content like machine. It was when I saw that, I was just like, holy shit. And it's funny too, because you took that clip where the people were talking about getting hurt in CrossFit. That was like right before you posted all the athlete interviews. And I had that like queued up, like I screen recorded it and was like getting ready to like do something with it. And then you posted it and I was like, yeah, nope, can't even catch him.
Which one?
This one here. I'll play it.
You see the thing I just put up?
I did.
The one I just put up, like as you were on the show.
I did.
Oh, okay.
I did.
Okay.
Oh, wait, maybe the one before that.
I just put it up. I would not be shocked if you hadn't seen it yet, but I'm curious your take on it. But go ahead, we'll talk about what you wanted on this one.
So
remember that.
No, it was just crazy because I had like taken this too, but I just did a little screen recording of it. And then it was cool that I just saw that you had already jumped on it and like,
oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't post anything with it because you already hit it. So I was just like, okay, cool. He's got it going on.
I really like to try to have something up every day on Instagram, no matter what it is.
That's the goal. One piece of content on IG a day.
That was, I mean, I did that on YouTube for a while. And
yeah, that was insane.
The YouTube one, when I started, it was, depending on what it was, it took anywhere from probably 6 to even a day's worth of time to get it done, which would usually take me pretty late into the night. And then the Instagram ones could be anywhere from a post, which is a minute, to that one, which I think took like 30.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That one wasn't bad. Some of them are, I don't know, it's just fun.
How many posts do you have that have gone over 1 million views?
I don't know, like at least 2. I would bet probably 12 to 18. I don't know.
Wow.
There's I'm counting the ones on my dead account too.
Right.
That's the thing that it kind of takes me off. I'm very convinced that it was Danny Spiegel that had my old Instagram nuked. And I know there was some thought there that it was Mikey Swoosh, but the weekend that it was taken down, Danny Spiegel was at Instagram headquarters. And we don't believe in coincidence.
No way. Really?
I haven't told you this?
No, I didn't know. What the fuck was she doing on Instagram headquarters?
I don't know. I think actually Travis Bellinghouse let me know that.
Oh, that's
a picture of her there on the same weekend. Of course, I've been blocked, and at which like my account was dead, and she was there. I'm like, oh, okay. But the reason I'm bringing all of it up is because that account was at like 40-something thousand at that point. Now this new one at like 50-something.
Yeah, 51, almost 52.
I always want to know like if it's the same people or if I would have had something else going on at this point.
I think you would have been above 250,000, and I think you probably would have had majority of them. Yeah, dude, you don't think so?
250?
Yeah,
No,
because it's a
I think like
flywheel.
60 to 75. That's where I would peg it at.
1,000?
Yeah.
Mm,
Who knows?
I don't know, dude. I mean, your Instagram account is one of those accounts that you just have to follow. Like whether you love you or you hate you, like you have to follow it because you need like that's like where the newest information is going to be coming out. So I feel like I don't know. I feel like you would have had a larger following.
I was
But you
curious
could
what was
still
going
watch.
through people's heads is like I blasted them with all the athlete videos. Or if they see them, I don't even know what it looks like as someone else.
I basically saw one pop up on my feed and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I saw two and then I was like, wait a minute. And then I went and I saw that you had like 16 of them or whatever. And I just thought that that was absolutely insane.
I see this
I was like,
right
oh.
here, and I think people are so stupid. I think they're so dumb. What are we doing this show for right now?
Engagement, views,
Thank
eyeballs, entertainment.
Thank you. I think Don Fall is so stupid. Like, how can he possibly say that anything that I do is no good when they pay for the same thing? And I had that little rant in my video, which was, I spend my time, which is the same as his money. He's spending it on SEO, which is the same thing as my YouTube clicks. Like, you run a company, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard anyone say at your level.
Well, you inspired me a little bit too, because I was like, man,
and this
you
is
could do all that.
Yes.
And here, let me show you. I'll show you this, which it's not really as much as yours, but that's the engagement on my Instagram. And yeah,
that's great.
That's not bad, right?
How'd you do that?
I tried to find opportune moments that I thought would do well. Some of them I had no idea, which like the clip of Dr. Sean Rock and I talking about if CrossFit is dangerous or not did pretty well.
Yeah, that's good.
But in all honesty, it was the clip of the chick that when I was just sitting at lunch in between classes at the gym, and Grace had on the weightlifting nationals. And she was like, holy shit, look at this. And I turned around and they were showing the replay of the chick like dislocating and putting it in. I was like, wait, can you screen record that for me? And so she's like, yeah, and sent it to me. And then I posted it and I collabed with the chick who did it. And instantly she accepted it. And it was the first piece of content of that out there. So that reel went and it has like 838,000. But Squat University reached out to me.
And I heard you talk about this, right?
Yeah. And they were like, hey, can we utilize your clip? I'm like, yeah, sure. Go for it. And then when I looked at theirs, I think she was up over, oh, fuck. Now she's at 20.7 million. Wow. Right here. That clip. Yeah. So that clip is mine. And obviously he would have gotten, he got more just because he has so much more of a following. He has like 3 million.
That's what drives me nuts about the CrossFit Games Instagram is that they have the 2 million baseline.
Yeah.
And that is what you just said. They start with more. So yours gets 800,000. His gets 20 million.
20 million.
And if I put up some stupid crap that gets 1 million, imagine what would happen if it had that as like a trampoline, a 2 million baseline.
Yeah, it'd be insane, right? And especially if they were posting and people were engaging all the time because the algorithm would pick that up and just send it. And that would
it's just not cool anymore to be in cahoots with CrossFit Games, right? There's a point in time where people would give their dick to be featured on that account.
Yep.
And now I bet that they offer to collaborate with all these athletes. They just did one with Adler, but it's not going to do anything for him.
Yeah.
Google, I mean, if we look at the games where they just put up a thing with Adler, and I bet he picks up like 10 followers, and it's like there was a point where that was the thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I remember when it was just get the photo of the workout of the day photo on main site back when everybody go to main site, and so we got a photo.
She started taking their shirts off to get on there, no?
Yeah, literally the backwards pull up with it. Yep, you're absolutely right. And it was funny because I remember the day that they posted the picture that we put up, like one of the kids in our kids room wrote on the chalkboard that we have, they're like, I love CrossFit, but like spelt it all funny with the K, but like phonetically, and it still worked out. And there was this big bear that we had in there sitting next to it. And so they posted the picture up, and we were so pumped. Like when we saw it, we're like, holy shit, and like went all crazy. And stuff. For the shitty thing is somebody stole the CrossFit Livermore Instagram handle. So we had to be at CF_Livermore. And at the time, there was some drama when
the wrong one.
And so they tagged the wrong one, and it sent everybody who would have checked us out like to that wrong one, which there was one post that said CrossFit's for everybody. Don't be an ass. And it had a picture of a donkey inside of like some empty looking gym. And we tried to get that handle back for forever. But the gym that I ended up leaving out of and starting the new gym, like the guy got super butthurt about it, and started that Instagram and would not give me that handle. And is like hasn't even been around the space for like 9-10 years. So,
do you know where he is? You know we can mess with him, right?
I don't know where he is. I don't know much about him. He wasn't even like super into the space at all. I think he saw it more or less as like a business opportunity.
Aren't you Italian?
No, I'm Portuguese.
Oh, that's why.
Why?
Because don't Italian people mess with people. It's like
just and hold grudges for forever.
No. You just get back what's yours.
I tried. I messaged a lot of people. I tried to go through Instagram. I tried to do a bunch of stuff like way back in the day, and they never Instagram never did anything for me. And I could never get a hold of anybody from that account or the guy that I think started it. I could be wrong.
Didn't David at one point tell Sevon that if he went to Meta, then he would feature him or something?
Alex Stein, Alex Stein said, hey, you should dress up nice and fancy, go to Meta and ask about what's going on with your account, and if you could speak to an in-person customer service and film the whole thing. And he said that he would put it up on his YouTube channel and share anything on the Instagram that we made. I wanted to do that so bad. There's been a couple of things that I've wanted to do.
On the table?
I'm sure it would be. Alex is a homie, dude. Like he's a good guy. So I feel like he would definitely hook us up with whatever we asked. But I want to get back to the conversation. So when did you have the epiphany, if we want to call it, that you're just like, okay, I'm not going to try to push what CrossFit should do. I'm just going to do it myself.
It would almost be like you're working with somebody who's overweight and you can lose the weight for them. But like, hey, I'm going to train you for an hour. I'm telling you what you need to eat, but you could absorb what it is that they need to do and they don't got to do anything. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Does that make any sense?
It does.
I'm going to run a little bit more. I'm not going to eat any refined carbohydrates, and then you're going to lose weight. And it's good for me because I'm getting it too. And it's also good for you. And maybe you'll start doing it too because you see how it's working for you already. If you could imagine that in some weirdo universe.
No, and the reason why I asked is because literally I had a conversation last week with somebody who all of you guys know, and somebody who has done great stuff in the space and that I respect a lot. And they basically said like, hey, why don't you just do what you want them to do? Like independent of CrossFit, like just act as if you are CrossFit. And I just thought it was funny that you kind of had that same thread. What's that?
What, did I tell you this?
No, but it was just funny because we came across like the same thing. And I wonder if we talked to the same person. I'll ask you after this. No, we didn't. Okay. So interesting.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
That's exactly how I felt. And so with the school platform and the affiliate contest and just being able to help, like if someone were to ask me, and I did have somebody ask me like, hey, if you were in charge of CrossFit, what would you want them to do? What is the solution? Yeah. And they're like, what is the solution? And I started going through the whole thing. Here's what I would do, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you've heard me talk about it and spit it out and all this other shit. But they were like, cool. So why don't you just do that? And there was an interesting time in my life where that same exact thing was told to me by Sevon when I was at the DDC in 2018. And I was like, you need to start your podcast up again. That shit was awesome. We need to do more stuff that just I could listen to because that's how we're going to reach a younger generation. We should turn all the articles into audio versions. And Sevon was like, that's a great idea. You should just do it.
I heard you talk about that on Glitten, right?
Yeah. And I was like, fuck, he's right. I should just do it. And so I started doing it, and it was funny because after that, the ripple effect or the cascade that happened after that kind of launched everything that we have now. So then I was just thinking to myself, like, well, I heeded that advice from somebody else again, who I respect in the space. And you're right. I'm just going to fucking do what I want them to do. And I'm just going to do it on my own. And we'll just see what comes of that. And I just thought it was interesting that you kind of had that same thought process.
No, nobody told me that. It's just something I thought of. And it's something, it ebbs and flows. Like I can do whatever I want. And then every once in a while, this is what I think they should do. And I'll just do it.
Yeah. What, if CrossFit hired you, would you ever work for CrossFit?
It'd be a number that I don't think they would give me money wise. And it would also be decision-making choices that I don't think they would allow.
Yeah.
But
That was
the answer would be potentially, but probably not, because it's just they would never.
And then by money, you mean like they would have to pay you enough to stop what you were doing now, plus the opportunity of cost of where you would be if you kept doing what you were doing now.
Right.
So that's why the number would be so high, right?
What's the number on a business? Isn't it profit by 3 or 5 years, depending on it?
Typically, yep.
And at which rate it would be whatever I make, because I'm entirely self-employed. All my money comes through me.
Right.
What I made 2 years ago into the future by 5, and they couldn't afford that.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Well, I mean, and even if they could throw money at it, the second thing that you said, which was actual autonomy to make decisions at a high level,
Right.
that's where, like,
It's the most frustrating thing. Like, that's why I can't hold things against Dave. Potentially, everyone's like, you don't even watch his stuff. It's like, well, maybe he does, but maybe he can't really speak his mind. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt a lot of the time. I don't think what he's saying is the gospel truth, and I don't talk to him. He hasn't told me this, but I'm inferring that. And if you look into the things that he talks about, for example, Annette Rivas, I did the entire video on her where I simply showed her own words. And when he spoke toward that point, he had never specifically said she doesn't. It's that we do not. I have not. And it's like, well, he's not really defending Annette. He's defending a team of people and CrossFit, saying he has not. He hasn't seen it. That stuff can all be true, but it can still be happening.
Yeah.
I agree with it. And while he didn't watch the video, he's not really coming at me. He's just speaking facts as he knows them.
And why do you think that people are viewing that as negativity?
They project, right?
Yeah. I found it interesting.
If they were in her position, and people use this E word, the empathy word. They have empathy. They put themselves in the person's shoes, and they would not like it if they had made a statement somewhere and it was being viewed in such a light, because that's all it is. It's being viewed. I didn't really, my opinion on the thing was that I would not do that. I don't agree with that, and stop. But the comment section, it's a different story.
Right.
There could have been the same comment section on that video, in my opinion. You go to the Annette Rivas video from, I think it was September of 2023, maybe, or around then. It was right before she was hired at CrossFit. And it could have been the same comment section, all from CrossFitters, right?
Yeah.
I could have put a comment in there that goes, I don't agree with this. And currently she is the CPO at the company where I spend all my time talking about stuff. And everyone in the CrossFit world could have gone in there and flooded it. It's just a different thing, and people view it in a certain way. And I don't know why it's negative, but I do think that they think, ooh, I really wouldn't want that comment section about me. Well, it's like, well, then also you shouldn't have said it in the first place. I told Sevan, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but I have the thing where if I wouldn't do it in private and be ready for everyone to know about it, I probably shouldn't be doing it in general. Right? Like if I shut this camera off and I just started jerking off in this chair right here and a video went public about it, be like, well, yeah, I did that. Like what?
Yeah.
And she's in a public podcast talking about it. And for all of a sudden she got caught jerking off in a chair. And I'm the one who's negative about talking about it. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I watched that video. I watched all your stuff, but it's not like there was any like personal attack on her. It's not where you were like, she drives a gray 2007 Honda Civic that looks like a piece of shit, and so she's terrible, and like her haircut sucks. Like you didn't like.
It's you.
That's my car. Yeah, the work truck. You've been in it, and so like, it's interesting because it's always like this juxtaposition where they feel like they were attacked, but ultimately you can't really point at anything that was like overtly negative. Like, see, he's making fun of her there.
Because I don't make fun of people.
Right. Right.
I don't do it.
And so that's why I've always just thought like
what good does it do?
It doesn't do any good. And it doesn't work towards like, I always feel that there is a sense of a solution.
If you shave your head, I'd be like, oh, you shaved your head. Why? And then you have the option to go, oh, I had lice, or I was balding, or I think I wanted to see what it was like, or Grace told me she didn't like my hair, so I got rid of it. You have all of those options. Or you could get all like self-defensive and self-conscious and defensive and come at me and say you're attacking me for shaving my head. It's like, well, that's your fault. I just want to know why you shaved it.
Yeah.
I want to know why Annette thinks it's okay to hire people based upon the color of their skin. Like, she said it. You shaved your head. Like, come on.
Yeah. No objection here. I just think it's interesting.
I don't like bald dudes. I tried it. I was bald once.
And your face was bald once too. Yeah. Not that long ago.
I don't mind that. That's okay. But when I buzzed my head or I shaved it and I'm like, what does this look like? I don't like it.
CJ said you watched the jerk off video. Yeah. Sure did. Yeah, it's interesting because I think you have to bend towards the fact of like the feeling bad, being like, oh, I feel bad for you. So then I agree that it's negative, as opposed to the other option of like, yeah, well, shit, you said it and it is what it is. Like, it sucks that it got brought up.
Well, you can either want to be a pussy or you cannot be. That's it. Like, you want to think it's negative and you want to be soft. I'm like, oh, I wouldn't. Don Fall said it in freaking self. What if it was your significant other that had this done with them? It's like, done what? Your significant other did something that everyone could see, and they did it to themselves. It's like they're doing heroin. Like, oh, I feel so bad for the heroin addict. It's like, well, they shouldn't have done heroin.
Yeah. And I have another example that happened to me today. And I took
he said that.
What's that?
It's disgusting that Don said that. Imagine it. Your sister, brother, wife, husband, whatever, had a video made on them. I'm a little bit incorrect with the phrasing there, but he did say that, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Dude, what?
And I think it's because it's like you said, the narrative of like, hey, we feel bad for this person because they might not have liked what they saw. And so for us, we're just going to view it as like, you're the bad guy. This is negative, and we're upset with you because it happened. And like, I don't like, there's no solution to that, because like, then there's nobody's even agreeing that it's a problem or anything else. It's just kind of like, okay, well, yeah, we all feel bad for you and nothing happens. And the example that I was going to give is like, so today I came in, and on one of the whiteboards, we have two whiteboards across the gym. So you could see the workout on the other whiteboard if you're on the far side of the gym. And what's that?
Nothing.
Oh,
yeah. Braille, like, to make sure everyone can read.
It's accessible. Yeah.
Okay.
And so on one side, it said, every 2 minutes for 5 sets. On the side that I presented to the class and gave the whiteboard briefing, it said every 2 minutes for 7 sets. So then half the class at 5 sets started to like unload their bar and like get it prepped like they were going to go into the workout. And it was like, wait a minute, guys, we got 2 more sets here. And they're like, well, this board says this side. And then so I have the option there to be like, hey, I screwed that up when I wrote it on that side. Or I could be like, why didn't you guys pay attention at the beginning? I said it was 7, and like get upset about it, right? But either way, it was my fault for screwing it up and writing 5 on one board and then writing 7 on the other board. And the only thing at that point that I could control is like how I respond to that, right?
Everyone's doing 6.
Yeah. We're gonna split the difference, you assholes. 6 sets. And so I just think that it's just it all comes down to how you're gonna choose to respond to something. And I think that to a certain degree, it made them internally look a little chaotic by responding like that, because it seemed like they had to kind of like huddle around like a wounded deer. And since they're making it that response, as opposed to just like either A, ignoring it, or B, just addressing it head on, it makes it just feel like there actually isn't any response to it, but they're just going to point at you and say that you're a bad guy. And then that is the response. Because he never addressed it in terms of like, we don't have those hiring practices, did they?
Sure didn't.
So
that's it, right?
Yeah.
Imagine just 47 minutes of me pointing at you, calling you a deer. You're a deer. You're a deer. It's like, what? Yeah, DEER. You heard me. Deer, the animal with antlers and all that. And Don's like, I really don't like woodland creatures. They're not all that great. We shouldn't call us things that live in the forest. And it's like, dude, are you a deer or not?
Yeah. And when you're making those videos and stuff like that, are you actually like really intentionally not having it go that direction? So that way you're making sure that it's staying on on track to what you're trying to show or what you're trying to highlight? Like
No,
what kind of goes through your head as you're making a video like that?
there is a tangent. I do really much consider whether or not I think the things, and I saw this mentioned in here already, the trash can story when it came to Alexis. And I brought that up twice in videos, but I think it's a really good example of like, hey, just because she's close to me doesn't mean that it's not how I treat her or anyone, like anywhere. It's just how I think it needs to be. Think, not has to, but
Right.
I remember I was at Chipotle once, and I go there all the time. And there was a day where I always have a habit of talking to the people on the line, and they're always talking various things. And one day this guy kept on saying stuff, and I go, well, you could have, or, on the flip side of it. And he goes, dude, can you stop being so fucking positive for a minute? And I see this guy all the time, right? Because it was the Chipotle next to the affiliate. And I go, I didn't mean it. Like, I just didn't think that any of those things were all that bad. And it could have been worse.
Yeah.
I told this to Alexis. I told her this recently. So there was something going on. I don't know. It wasn't all that great. And I go, I remember I was probably 6, 7, 8 years old. And I had this wandering eye. And every once in a while it would pop up. And when I got contacts, it fixed it. And I hear this a lot. People wear glasses or contacts. They correct, so both eyes are working the same. And I got out of the car, and for some reason I was thinking about it. Maybe I was looking in the rearview mirror, but I got out of the car and I saw this dude in a wheelchair, and I'm like, wandering eye ain't that bad. That dude can't walk.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's just kind of something that I've always thought about. Like, there's always it could be worse. It's not that bad. And the reason I'm telling you all of this is because I don't think I'm inherently or ever even negative. It's not really where I go with things. And if there's just something good or bad, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Something worse. And people are like, he's so negative. And it's absurd to me to hear that, because I've never heard it before until I started making YouTube videos.
Did that make you feel bad? Like, not about like not about like making the video, but were you just like, damn, I was totally misunderstood in my intentions?
Does it make me feel bad that people think I'm negative?
Yeah.
No.
Like, you're like, fuck, that's not my intention.
They can't do anything about what other people think. If anything, my time again in the affiliate where we just talked about that made that obvious, like as obvious as possible. Half of the gym tells you to put a mask on. The other half of the gym tells you that they're going to be pissed if you haven't worn masks. And it's like, well, how do you win? You can't.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you remember the affiliate teaches you everything you need to know. You can't win. So why try to make anyone happy and just do what you wanted to do in the first place and let the rest just fall where it will? Yeah,
because ultimately, if you try to please everybody, you're going to please nobody.
Is it wandering? Well, no. Small is different than wandering, all right? Like, they're both going the same direction.
But, you're absolutely right. And I think we're also seeing that internally with CrossFit, meaning like they're trying to appease everybody at the same time. And then in turn, they're appeasing nobody at all.
Is there any coincidence that the people in charge have never run an affiliate?
And you think that would change their perspective on stuff?
I don't think that the people who have been close to the affiliates have much of a say-so.
Yeah. There is a little bit of like, what do you know? Because I've been selling fucking memberships for the last 10 years. And, you haven't sold a membership in your life. So who are you to tell me how to do things or this or that or the other thing, right?
Dan Guerrero. Calling people stupid is not negative. If it's true, it's honesty. And the same thing goes for fat. And I grew up and my mom always told me not to talk about, like, never ask a woman what she weighs or how old she is. And I'm like, why? Like, what if you're curious?
Yeah, typically
you're not. And you're like, how old are you? And you just want to know if she's like close to your age. It shouldn't matter. It's like, well, it matters.
I think that's
what if we don't even watch the same movies?
That's part of the whatchamacallit, like the wear a mask or don't wear a mask. Like, if you're just gonna open the can of worms and just end up being the bad guy, so you're just gonna be screwed regardless. Okay, so let's get into. Do you have anything in the hole right now? Is there any grenades in the
hole?
The YouTube hole?
I've got something I'm working on. It's gonna come up on Monday, and it's not like a grenade. It's just something that I think is gonna be cool.
Okay.
Do you know about that?
I don't think so.
I went and spent the weekend with an athlete.
So
it'll be an athlete video.
See, that's another reason why I think there's fucking 10 of you. How are you going to be traveling somewhere and spending time with an athlete, in cutting all these reels, in making those other videos, in staying as engaged as you do? That's pretty freaking nuts.
We were watching a movie, Alexis and I told her that I consider it work. And she's like, you're not allowed to work right now. We can't watch this movie. Stop working. And I'm like, everything is work. and it's why I'm convinced that I think you do need to have opponents, right? And
Yep.
CrossFit at the moment is my opponent. They can't win. They cannot win because I'm always working. And I know that the people that they've got over there, they take time off. They take vacations. They're not thinking about it the way that I think about it. They cannot win. They might as well play along. And it's not, if you can't beat them, join them. It's if they can't beat me, they should work with me. And or
Yeah.
you lose.
If you had your way, what would who would CrossFit sell to? Magic wand moment here. There's no restriction or obstacle.
Is it worth more or less than they sold it for last time?
Doesn't matter.
It probably matters.
Money doesn't matter in this situation.
So,
what do you want to have happen?
me?
You run it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same thing I say too. Would you hire me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. You could be in charge then.
Yeah. you can, can I make Dave the CEO? And then
you can make Dave the CEO.
You can have like a role.
I could be
that. You can be the people's officer. How about that?
Yeah. I'll take it. I'm only going to hire you based on
and that's why the question of how much is important, because I would have never had said me if you wouldn't have said money don't matter.
Right. And that's because like I've talked about it. I know you've heard me talk about it on the other shows, and that's what I say all the time. I'm like, someone's like, hey, what do you want to have happen? And it's like, ultimately, you would like to see it go into the hands of a private owner, like a single individual with a really long-term vision, not necessarily a private equity company, because they're going to run it through their machine of stuff that they do to try to add valuation to it, just to offload it and sell it to somebody else. Right. It's just a pass-through thing.
This is probably as good, if not better, of an option. But the thing is, I don't know if he wants it. And the thing is, I know I would.
Yeah, I don't think he wants it.
And while Greg is for sure, if he's like a 100 out of 100 on the education scale, everything CrossFit would need, I'd be like a 10. But I can make up with that 10 with effort. And
yeah,
I'm not saying he wouldn't try. I'm just saying he'd been there, done that. He's got nothing else to prove. I'd have a lot to prove.
EC Sounds, thank you for the €1.99. We're just here for the negativity. That's what we're unraveling. There is no negativity. There's only a thing that
That's what I was
happens.
laughing at. This is the only real option.
Sell it to Frank.
And the only stipulation is you can have to continue to work from your bathroom.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because on this clip here, I was going to show this. Okay, so let me show this, because Frank actually just commented this on one of my things here. Love Matt Souza, and that he points this out, but what is he proposing as a solution? I propose that the affiliates organize and collectively take action to either buy CrossFit from private equity or start a new brand. Check out the CF Collective. Okay, then he turned the rest of it into a promo for his thing.
Dude, I love his dedication.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
You got to admire the guy for the relentless dedication. I mean, you like tried to steamroll him, and he just popped right back up like a month later, like fucking nothing happened, and just like continued the mission.
Oh my god! Have you seen Game of Thrones?
I have not. I hardly watch anything.
Everyone who has seen it will know Hodor, and it's like he's Hodor. It's like Hodor. It's like, what does Hodor mean? Like, we really don't know what Frank means, but we're gonna figure it out at some point. Like, what do you mean by collectively gather the affiliates to buy it? Because you don't even know what it means.
Yeah, that's
it's provocative. Hodor, hold the door.
It's one of those situations where like it sounds like a really good idea, but I would love to see like logistically how that would actually work. You know what I mean? Like, is he just saying like,
won't work?
Hey, route all your
Hodor made no sense until it made sense.
Well, here's the way that I see it, and I like the fact that you just said like, I'm not trying to view it as negative or positive. I'm just trying to view it as like, it is what it is, and I'm just holding it up for everybody to see, giving it a platform to give it exposure, and that's kind of like, that's kind of how I feel a little bit about all the stuff that we do, which is like, Goddamn Souza, you and Savon live under a rock.
Who said that?
Hardly last. It was just a new name, and it totally threw me off what I was gonna say. So now I completely forgot. So we'll move on.
Oh,
but
because you haven't seen. I know Sevon's seen Game of Thrones. That's probably what they're referencing.
oh, okay,
That's the thing
okay.
about you guys in the comments. You always assume the comments are bad.
Can we have a poll of who should own CrossFit? And Caleb's not here, so I don't know if we could do that.
Sevon figured out how to do that this morning.
Oh, did he? I mean,
How to
actually,
operate a poll. I don't know, honestly.
I could do it. I just don't want to do it right now.
No, it's
Susan,
okay.
until we have summit videos for until when? September 7th. If you look at that link, which I will also put inside the chat here in a moment. If you look at this link, this will have all the information that you guys need as far as the affiliate video, but it goes until September 7th. There's all the links in there, like where to submit it. You could download all the bumpers that you need, the intro bumper, the outro bumper, everything else. The reason why I feel like a lot of people say like, hey, we're CrossFit, we're the community, it's us, we're bigger than one person. Here's the deal. We don't have the resources or the reach that one global entity like CrossFit has. So when you're at the helm of it, it is your job to grow the pie, in my opinion, as CrossFit HQ. If you are not focused on growing the ecosystem of CrossFit, then nobody else is. And a perfect example that I have that I was just thinking about was Chris Cooper just had his Two Brain Business Summit, right? There was like over 1,000 gym owners there. I think they have to get a whole new space and venue next year because the thing is just exploding, right? He had multiple speakers that came up and spoke to the affiliates. He paid those speakers. He took the money and said, I want to put people in front of these gym owners to give them some sort of value. And I am willing to pay for that for them, whether that's travel expense, speaker fee, whatever the case is.
Do you know?
Right?
Do you know
who got paid?
Yeah.
Well, like the year before, he had like Jocko, and I know he's had like Mike McConowitz, which is a small
Set
business.
your alarm to 5 a.m. and go work out.
Well, he had Mike
That'll be
McConowitz.
$50,000.
What I thought I had one of his books, but Mike McConowitz is a really good writer. Yeah, Clockwork. There's another one up there, but he wrote like Profit First and a couple other things, and so his information is like really good, and he has nothing to do with the CrossFit space whatsoever. So if you're going to have some sort of like speaker fee or like bring somebody in, right? Now, CrossFit brought in Jocko. Jocko paid CrossFit. So think about that. One person pays somebody to bring people in to add value. The other person is paying them to come in to essentially monetize us, the CrossFit ecosystem. Right? So if you look at those two different things, and so something like that is always what I think about in terms of like, if they're not focused on growth and partnerships and they're only focused on extracting from the community so that way they could grow their bottom line to get the evaluation that they need to be able to have a successful exit of the company, a successful sell of it to somebody else, then there's no way that you can be growing the thing at the same time you're trying to extract from it. And I just love that example.
Does pay people, right?
What's that?
CrossFit does pay people that can do the things that Chris Cooper had Jocko do for them, right? Because let's say you gave him, I don't know, $50,000. Let's just say that. I don't know.
Okay.
Chris Cooper gives Jocko $50,000. He's giving the gym owners something to listen to, right?
Right.
Who does CrossFit pay? Because they pay people. Tell me. They pay people, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming they pay their employees.
I'm assuming that too. Keep going. Who else do they pay?
I don't know.
Yeah, this is correct. That's an employee. Yeah, that's an employee. Yeah. The athletes at the games.
What do you mean they pay them?
When they win.
Oh, like the prize purse and stuff like that?
Time we had Jocko. His name was Froning. His name was Fraser. It was Tia. It was the daughters.
Mm-hmm.
We had people, and they're just not using Jocko anymore.
Crazy.
There's a freaking year where Jocko Adler just chilled in Canada. Bye-bye. Have fun in Canada. Do what you want. We think you're doing the zone diet. We don't want to see it. We don't care if you tell anybody about what the zone diet does for you. But have fun. We have a Jocko. We do it. We just don't use it. Chris Cooper paid Jocko to sit at home and jerk off. There's a second time I keep on referencing.
Fuck. I mean, that's exactly it, right? And so
I
like
that. That's cool. I never really thought about that.
and if you to take your example, okay, so if you have $1, how are you going to spend that dollar and where are you going to spend that dollar? And you have two decisions to make. Are we going to spend this on things that are going to make us more money, or are we going to spend this on something that's going to grow the community?
I give the dollar to Rogan. Yeah,
and get on the show and reach
Rogan
and reach 120 million people in an episode.
Yeah.
And so you can't.
I'd pay the Hawk Chewy girl. I'd give her $1. Dude. If I were CrossFit, I'd give the Hawk Chewy girl $1 because everyone's watching her right now.
Dude, did you see that clip that I sent in last night when I saw that? I saw that an hour or two after it was posted. I got 2 minutes into it and I thought it was absolutely crazy.
I haven't seen it yet. The Barstool
dude, I put it in the thread. It was fucking. She's in this big hat and they're like, so you don't have social media? And she's like, no, I was off social media before that clip ever came about. She's like, I just deleted it. She's like, okay, so you're on social media again now that you have all this attention? And she's like, well, I'm working with my manager and my agent. And I'm like, what the fuck? This chick hasn't even produced $1, but here come the vultures, right? Like, let me be your agent. Let me be your manager. Oh, we're going to do this. I'm going to put together this business plan for you. And it's fucking insane. It's like, here come the leeches. And by the way, don't even get me on the fact that the agents in the CrossFit space, like when Dave said yesterday on the Weekend Review, he's like, I'm going to bring affiliate owners into here and talk to them and share their stories. Oh, fucking what a novel idea. I'm going to bring in all the CrossFit Games athletes and have all of them. Yep, we did that last year, brother. And then now he's like, I'm going to bring in the agents. Please don't fucking bring in the agents. Please don't bring in the leeches.
Dave said that?
Yes, in his last Weekend Review.
I didn't hear the agents part.
And dude, I thought it was absolutely insane. I had a conversation with an athlete and I was like, hey, you just got this. They like posted about it. And I was like, have you considered doing XYZ? I would do this. And they were like, holy shit, that's a great idea. And I said, yep. And then when they respond,
tell me what XYZ is.
I can, but I'm not going to do it on air.
Why?
I could show it to you.
Said it's going to help so many people and you don't want to help people for free. Who the hell do you think you are, an agent?
It's not
agent shit over here.
It's not the fact that I don't want to help people free, because when I finish this, you'll still receive the same help. It's the fact of that nobody is thinking about growing the pie, right? Because then I asked this person right afterwards, I said, hey, have you and your said agent ever sat down and said, okay, what is the long-term goal here? You have a finite amount of time in your competing space, and we need to leverage that time and leverage that attention to a longer-term goal, so that way you have something to fall back on when your competitive career is done. And then once you put that stake in the ground, even if it changes, you could reverse engineer everything that you're doing back to that long endpoint. And without that long endpoint, you become super short-sighted. So I was like, hey, have you reached out to this company, this company, this company, this company? None of them were in the CrossFit space at all. Way outside of the CrossFit space, but big companies.
Marlboro, right?
It was Living Spaces, Dyson Vacuum,
okay,
and a handful of these like organic, chemical-free household cleaning supplies. And I was like, have you ever thought about reaching out to any of those
people?
You
got contacts at Dyson?
What's that?
Do you have contacts at Dyson?
Dude, I got contacts all over the place, bro.
That's one way of saying no.
My contacts are so crazy, it's insane. That's one way of saying you're going to go to the website, sign out the contact form.
Yep.
But you know as well as I know that we can get attention of those companies. You post something with their product or their company, it does really well and gets a ton of engagement. You collab with them on that reel, you tag them, and you get the attention of that company. And if you do it right and you have a big following already, you're going to get the attention of that company, and you could move that conversation from Instagram to an email to a phone call, especially if you're strategic about it and you don't just do one, but you do a shitload, and you do it in a way that's like authentic and works with you and your plan.
I heard that's how Hugh Jackman got the Wolverine role.
He tagged him on Instagram.
He just, for 50 days in a row, put up a picture of him holding a Wolverine and tagged MCU. And eventually they're like, we get it.
Yeah, right? Because
I made that up.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck you. But the point being is, like, if you garnish the attention, you're gonna have the leverage.
Yeah,
that's what you have. If you had 200 subscribers on YouTube and you made all the videos exactly the same way you did, and they never broke 1,000 views, you think anybody would give a shit? No. So what's the leveraging point? It's the fucking attention. That gives you a really big lever to pull, right? So anyways, you could get their attention with that. But again, it's just going back to the extraction of the space. Living Spaces is the furniture company. Bingo. I wonder if they could distill who I was talking about down from that. I did reach out to Trojan. I reached out to Trojan and I reached out to Magnum when we were going to have Danielle Brandon on for the live call-in for Love Advice with Danielle Brandon. I reached out to a couple companies like that and was like, hey, here's this person. Like, we're about to do this show. You guys should get involved.
Spaces. Ariel Lowen.
Yeah. What'd you say?
It's probably Ariel Lowen. He tried to like Living Spaces. Just a guess.
EC Sounds. They're not all leeches. A few of them are really good people. No doubt that they're really good people. No doubt. I'm not really saying that they're a person or not a bad person, but I just think that if they look at it as in terms of just extraction and not growing the whole entire thing, then you're just kind of like sucking away what's there and not adding to it and contributing. And that's kind of the
ways
overall.
to go about doing things, right?
What's that?
There's just ways to go about doing things, and you explain something a little bit longer versus something a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
Hawk Tui girl's got her agents all lined up, and
it's crazy.
It's just different. It's shorter.
It's much shorter for her, especially. Huge Jackman was Wolverine before the internet. Okay, interesting.
And he'll be Wolverine after the internet.
It's just going to carry on. You use metrics on your Instagram and on your YouTube to show two things. Number one, that CrossFit is digressing, it's shrinking. And number two, that you have ran circles around anything that they produced over the last couple of years. Why are those important?
I need to wonder from what lens.
Just in general, like why would you use those two things to show what's happening in the space?
Theirs in relation to their
like
size.
Growth or their shrinkage or a CrossFit in total as shrinking or it.
Why are my numbers important or why is CrossFit shrinking important?
Both. Like why would you use that as a metric of something shrinking versus not?
It's what I'm passionate about. It's what I would like to make all of my content about. It is what I make all of my content about. Without CrossFit succeeding, excelling, I have less to potentially speak on, grow with. I'd like to grow with it. If my metrics are clearly lesser, and if I can do more, then it shows that they aren't trying to become what I would be trying to become, which is I want 100,000. My equivalent of their 100,000, I assume, would be like 10 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually pretty close. I would have to double and then some. They'd have to go up by 5 times. They aren't trying to do that while I am. And it's where they came from. I know somewhere out there, and it's probably on one of the now 50 some episodes that Greg did with Sev on. He said CrossFit's a media company. From very vaguely what I can remember, was it registered as a media company?
It may have been. I don't know.
Because like when you think about it in that's like me really reaching. I don't know if that's factual. If you think about it that way, and that's true, and this is what they have to show for it, like they got nothing.
Yeah. Well, I will say
we have a football team and all they have are basketball players without pads, and they're all 8 feet tall, and you don't have a running back. That's what they look like. And Don Fall's Yao Ming. It's like, what good is he going to do with 300-pound walruses running at him? Nothing. He's going to get killed.
Yeah,
and
I've
Don
heard
Fall's
that.
getting killed by walrus.
I heard that CrossFit was a media company as well too. That was actually told to me in my L1 in 2013. Because somebody was like, what is CrossFit like as a company do outside of like the certifications? Like how, and they were like, it's a media company. And they're like, that's what we were told is like, what is this? Like, this is a media company. And I completely agree, especially like they were already on it back then, but even more so now, if you're not a media company first and then your product or whatever afterwards, like no one's going to know who the hell you are or care. Kind of going back to just the last conversation that we had about like engagement and reach and all that is so important to actually become known and expand your reach. Otherwise, you just
put up a video in another 10 days. I put up a video calling them out for not putting something up in 40 days. And then they put up 2 videos, one of which was from the affiliate playbook. So it wasn't anything new that they had created. It was just something that they made public.
Right.
You have unlisted videos. I have unlisted videos for my online workout. I could make one of those public. Like, great. That doesn't mean they did anything. They don't freaking make anything.
They don't. And so at some point you kind of have to wonder like what it is that's actually happening.
There you go.
Get with the programming.
It was Greg said it in his opening speech at the 2013 CrossFit Media Summit. CrossFit Media Summit. Oh, so before CrossFit Health, there was CrossFit Media Summits. That's interesting.
That is interesting. Maybe it was just a weird play on words. Maybe he just meant like the 2013 CrossFit Summit. You remember when they used to have the Big Sky Montana?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, the like affiliate gatherings after the games and stuff like that. Chase could be referencing that. Oh, there was one of them and only one of them. Okay, yeah, so that was correctly what it was. But okay, there was this one comment here. Where was it? Oh, yes, because you had mentioned earlier, like, did you see the post that I just posted right before you started the show when the show started?
Yeah.
And CrossFat said, is Andrew's post today siding with CrossFit over broken science?
Yes.
It's siding. What do you mean by that?
Can we pull it up?
Yeah.
You want me to do it?
No, I got it right here.
Yeah.
I had your
Oh, look, they finally posted the cut schedule. Didn't Dave bring that up like days ago and they finally made it public?
Yeah, I think he made mention of it like it was going to be posted that day and then it wasn't or something like that. Typical.
All right, so the ins and out of this is they both have their own sort of medical deal going on, right? And
yeah.
From what I understand, the CrossFit Medical Society is an extension of what CrossFit Health was back in 2017-18. From what I understand, it's being put back into action, trying to do an extension of what Greg had started. They're trying to get doctors to be the gateway to unhealthy people to push them into affiliates. That's what I gather, right?
Okay.
And then I also think Broken Science is doing something similar. Like Greg started it over at CrossFit. He's doing his own thing with Broken Science. And then there's been this weird, we started it, you did it, you're doing it now. And yesterday it was Karen Thompson who actually commented on here. And she put up something yesterday about how if you want to be part of the real medical society, there's something over in New York at this date. And then the Broken Science page said that they had something in January. And then there was all of this extensions of CrossFit, basically reciting what they were doing, inferring that there was plagiarism or copying, right?
Okay.
Broken Science is on January, and then CrossFit starts coming out with it. But I came across something from Best Hour of Your Day in September, 4 months previous, that said that CrossFit was starting their medical society, which would essentially mean that Broken Science is copying CrossFit, which it really is, if you think about it, right?
But wait a minute, if Greg started CrossFit Health in 2017, how could the entity that Greg owns now be copying the thing that Greg started?
Because he sold the entity, didn't he?
I don't know the ins and outs of like the CrossFit Health versus CrossFit, but technically,
I don't either. I haven't seen the paperwork, but
well, I was going to say technically Greg started both, really.
Correct. You can, yeah, sure, start both. That's the thing, right? That's the thing that I don't get about it.
Yeah. What do you mean?
You can do both. And I don't know why there's all of this. Like, read the thing that says right there. The next slide, it says something about if you play it and pause it again. Is this paused right now?
I don't know what's happening. Let me refresh the screen and try it again.
So this next screen, the final thing from Broken Science.
Why is it not playing?
And after that,
okay. So it's playing. It's reading it right now.
It'll slide over in a second.
Okay.
It should.
So the Medical Society, and after that, CrossFit announced that they were also doing Medical Society, same wording. Is it more or less about the wording and the message that BSI is concerned about, other than the actual overarching?
Correct. Yeah. Where they say some stuff that Greg has said in the past, but it's like, dude, it is Greg, right? Like,
right.
CrossFit is Greg. It'd be like if Jesus got pissed that you were quoting him after Jesus sold the Bible to somebody. It's like, well, dude, it's the Bible. Didn't the dude write the Bible? I know he didn't write the Bible. Come on.
Ernie Gajda, I'm pretty sure Emily said it in August.
May, June, July, August. Yeah. And when are the games?
August.
Okay. And
But
the Best Hour of Your Day podcast, you can see they're having that at the games.
okay, so when did that make it be like at the same time then? All I know is that when I got involved with some of the stuff with Broken Science with Emily, I mean, this was years back. Like they were always talking about doing something like this and working toward it. I just don't know if it was publicly like stated ahead of time or not.
You want to know what I think?
Yeah.
I think it's a big waste of everyone's time.
How so? Like just semantics over like who started it or who said it first kind of thing?
Yes, that.
Okay.
And it'd be like, how many podcasts are there in the CrossFit space?
A few.
Just be the best fucking podcast.
Mm.
And here's what I did. All I've done to this point, like I usually do, is I show people what's happening on the internet. Right? Here's something. Okay. Here's something. Oh, you said January. Here's something from September. That's it. So the pissing match is be the better of the two of them. And at the end of the day, you guys both have more recognition than you had before it started. So chill the fuck out.
Mm. I also think too that the unfortunate stuff with private equity is anything that's started by private equity has no guarantee that it's actually going to continue on. Because so let's say CrossFit does the medical society thing, and let's say it sells in a year or two from now, and the person who it sells to are like, yeah, we have no interest in this. Then overnight, the whole thing's gone. And there's nothing anybody could do about that. And we know that with CrossFit, in terms of like what they're actually trying to accomplish, who knows how high of the list this is on priorities. I think Emily had said in one of the interviews that she did that there's not going to be meaningful investment into this on the CrossFit side. And obviously that's going to be true because they're not going to meaningfully invest into anything. CrossFit's not going to meaningfully invest into anything that isn't going to produce a bigger bottom line for them. In something like this with the medical society, you're going to need a lot of investment into it. It's going to take a lot of resources. And then on top of that, it's you have to have a long-term vision with it. So just in comparison of the two,
why are they even starting it?
Why is CrossFit starting it?
Right.
I think CrossFit's just a licensing thing for them, isn't it? Because isn't it? I think this is Tom McCoy's thing, and I think CrossFit licensed the name CrossFit to them.
See, this is why I could care less until they actually show that either one of them is going to do something worth the fuck, because neither of them do. Hey, Souza, tell me this: if you didn't know anything about Broken Science, and you were just sitting on the outside of the world, what do you know about the medical stuff going on over there? Not Broken Science, because that floats around and it's kind of cool and people know about it. But what about specifically this medical journey that's going on with them? What do you know? Nothing.
Well, it's hard for me because, like you said, like I have to position myself in something that I don't know.
Give it a good college try. Imagine you don't have anything to say with any of it.
Okay, so if I had no idea about what anything was going on,
imagine you're Molo Polo or Frank Fobach, Chad F. Any of these people in the comments.
I would say everybody needs to give me $5 and then I'm going to buy CrossFit. No,
no, imagine you're them and like,
okay, so
either of them.
If I'm them and there wasn't a ton of information on it or I had no previous information, I would assume that this is something that is being put together by Broken Science to try to connect the theories and the conversations that Greg is having to some sort of actionable thing that is like boots on the ground.
Pull back.
That would just be my assumption.
Pull back. How do you know that?
Because I would just assume that what Greg was doing over at BSI with the collection of characters that he had would be a continuation of kind of the movement that he was starting with CrossFit Health.
So you're under the assumption that Ernie Garza perhaps signed up for the BSI email, making him aware of what's going on at this medical society.
What do you mean? Wait. Now you lost me.
Because I don't think that anybody knows about any of it.
Oh, so you're saying the promotion of the media is an issue?
What's Devon's middle name?
Ahmed.
Is it really?
No, I totally made that up, but I got you back for the Wolverine thing, you fucker.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
No,
Well,
I don't. Yeah.
You and I are currently talking about both of them.
Yep.
It's a pissing match about something we don't even know what it is.
If I remove myself from the information that I already.
No, we don't know Stefan's middle name. Does he have one? We don't know.
Ahmed. Yeah.
We're gonna go with Ahmed. Ernie Garza doesn't know it. And at the end of the day, I think it's good to be talked about, and they should be using it as something to differentiate themselves, or work together, or just be the better of the two of them.
Okay.
And it's so weird that it's like, my middle name is cooler than your middle name.
So you're basically saying
we just found out what your middle name was. It doesn't matter. I don't even know if it's cool.
So you're basically saying that more effort should be put towards promotion and understanding of what it is and how it works and everything else, as opposed to kind of the back and forth semantics that we're seeing more of than, well, how do you know it wasn't their goal the whole time? Maybe they did this and it got picked up by you and now we're talking about it and it's a whole thing.
I don't think that they're, at least on one side, I can't say the same for Broken Science. I know the intelligence isn't there to do something like that. And we know that because we saw the CEO talk publicly about the way that a YouTuber goes about his day.
Because I was going to say, Emily's very smart and strategic.
Emily's very smart, and at which rate to be like, oh, nice.
Yeah, then if she's like, well, now that we have all the public attention, like, here's all the stuff. Boom, 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 boom. Right?
If it was a pissing match between Emily and Annette Rivas, I know who I'm choosing.
Yeah, so... okay, so what is your intent with that post there? Is just to basically, like, were you trying to set the record straight from your first post prior, or like was there any?
It's a continuation. I posted something because it just happened.
Okay.
And as you know, 95% of what I put up is merely repurposings of what is happening on the internet with a tail. And it's a story. It's continuing. Oh, did you know that they talked about it in September? And if they talked about it in September, then all right, it's your turn. Broken Science. What do you got? Where did you talk about it before that? Like, if you want to play this game and you want to have the pissing match, it's like, all right, keep it coming. Who's next?
Yeah, well, either way, it's good for promotion of what's going on over at the Broken Science Medical Society, and it's getting more attention to the CrossFit Medical Society, because they wouldn't really be even talking about it if it wasn't for the back and forth with it.
That's right.
Good old Frank. I think BSI will be licensing the Greg or the Glassman methodology once his non-compete is up in August.
I won't be signing up for that. You know why? Because
it has the word methodology in it.
And also, like, hey, dude, Alexis makes these fantastic points. Like, she strikes gold sometimes, and she goes, you know what we're missing right now? It's just the word CrossFit. Look at your shirt. I know that's a crash shirt, right?
Smoky like cheap crack.
What is this?
That's a Hiller shirt.
Right. Where are the CrossFit shirts?
Yeah, they're for sale in the Noble inventory for $50 a pop.
We were at the West Coast Classic, and this is when it hit Alexis that the word CrossFit used to be the thing. It was so cool. And if you were a CrossFit affiliate, one of the best parts about being a CrossFit affiliate, why is Stefan calling me? Does he not? Hey, dude. When you were an affiliate, like CrossFit Livermore, it's like everyone sees CrossFit on the shirt.
Right.
And now we got HWPO, we've got Mayhem, we've got Proven, we have all these things that are just not CrossFit. That's probably one of the biggest things. And when we're at the West Coast Classic and Alexis goes, let's go get a CrossFit shirt from the Northern Spirit booth, they don't fucking have any. She couldn't get one if she wanted to.
Holy shit, that's crazy. Because even I bought them at the games a couple of years back. They're just a shirt that just said CrossFit. Just because I wanted to have like a straight up CrossFit shirt.
It used to be the thing. And the reason the Glassman methodologies never work is because there's nothing like CrossFit. You can't put the Glassman methodology on a shirt. It doesn't stick. It's like, what do you do?
That's true.
I don't really want to say it. I do the Glassman methodology, and you had to recoil a little bit.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I think offline because I don't want anybody to actually steal
It
my
was
idea.
$70.
Yeah, it was $70, Dan. You're absolutely right.
They should legitimately have. And if I were the CEO of CrossFit, this is what I would do. I would have $13 CrossFit t-shirts. Why? Because that's what it costs to make them. That's what it costs to send them out. It makes me zero money, but what it does is the whole world will now be buying $13 t-shirts. And you know what? I've actually fucking done it. So you can't act like it's a pie in the sky concept. It's just good for everyone to see everyone wearing it instead of your HWPOs, instead of your Provens, and instead of my no rep shirts. I'm sitting here wearing a CrossFit shirt because I'm happy that I got it for $13. And it's so easy, but private equity won't want to waste money on that.
I mean, we did it on with our shirts. We haven't had shirts or clothing in a long time, and Travis hooked us up over at Vindicate. Made it super easy for us to get shirts. So you guys should go over there and check them out, especially if you own a gym and you guys want some stuff. But we haven't had shirts in a while. And then when we resold them, we basically sold them like a super close to cost. Like we did $25 for the shirt and $40 for a pullover hoodie.
Patrick Clark, did you not hear what I said? Because you said sweatshirts and I said t-shirts.
They're $200. Holy shit. Cool.
Also
Souza, are you no longer affiliated? I'm still affiliated because my affiliation does not come up until December. So the answer to that is yes. Yes, I still am. GP, who is the ideal owner of CrossFit when Burke shit sells in a year or two? Does Greg even entertain rebuying? As far as I know, no. Greg has not entertained rebuying. In fact, he usually seems pretty like whatever about the fitness side of stuff. He doesn't really seem that interested in it.
You know what? And at the end of the day, the thing that's probably most that statement kind of drives me nuts, because when you go into a gym, nobody gives three shits about who owns it. It's about what they do with it. Right. And like, it'd be great. Greg buys it, but it's like, what do you do with it? How do you make it worthwhile for these people that are spending money to be part of it? Like why? And even if it is a brand loyalty fee, which I think is what Greg said it was for the longest time.
Right.
And it's actually what didn't Best Hour of the Day just put out something about it being a brand loyalty fee? Make it something where you actually want to be loyal to it.
Yeah. Which is a good point that you brought this up. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this right now. Here's what we do. You want to be loyal to it because you put out so much media and you make it so fucking cool, and you make the trainers professional. You focus on your education, you focus on your trainers, you focus on your coaches. If you make that become really cool, you partner with other people inside the health and fitness space that have the same viewpoints and values that CrossFit does as an entity, then you're able to spread the message further and farther than any one individual can, especially because you would have the resources and you have the global brand. So you would make it fucking cool again, number one, and first and foremost. And number two, if I were in charge, we'll just say it that way. If I were in charge, you would know exactly what you're getting as an affiliate, because you would be like, holy shit, I want to be a part of this. I want to, as Dave would say, raise and fly the flag in front of my business to let them say, like, this is us. This is what we stand for. And we're different than everything else that's out there. And then people know that because they're seeing the content that's being produced at scale with our partners all over the fucking place. Like you said, if they had 10 million in engagement and reach, and that was just the normal run of the mill because they were producing a ton of stuff, like you wouldn't have to really ask the question of what is the value proposition of being an affiliate, right? Or am I off base? Do you disagree with that?
I mean, I do agree with it, but you know that they think that they're doing that right now, right?
There's no way they could think that, dude. You've literally held up the numbers and been like, here's mine, here's yours.
You've got access to the affiliate toolkit, don't you?
I do. Did
you see the thing that Craig Howard put up with Timmy?
No.
Did you? I mean, the PRs All Day podcast where he says that there's so much content. I think it was Timmy who said it. It's like, there's so much content. I can't tell you how much. And then Wad Zombie was in the comments, and Wad Zombie goes, I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, well, because you don't pay to see it. So I'm assuming that the affiliate owners have access to all of this, your bottom of the pyramid media. Do you or do you not?
No, there is not. I've done more inside the school platform already than is available as far as social media marketing inside of the.
No, that's true. That's like another part that I wasn't aware of, and that makes it way worse.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. Okay, you want to hear something? You want to see something fucking crazy real quick?
Here's the affiliate toolkit.
No, then I would get a fucking whatchamacallit, Matt, we're sorry, but you have breached contract and you are no longer a part of it. Okay, so check this out, dude. And I got receipts, bruh. I got receipts.
Timmy. Number 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, you're not fucking Timmy.
I know that's from Bedazzled. That's a good quote.
Let me hide that for just 1 second because I want to bring something up so I could be accurate in this. And I got witnesses. So
receipts and witnesses.
Receipts and witnesses. What's that?
I hear that's how you win a court case.
Okay, where is this? Hold on, not that. Okay, yes. All right. July of 2022. Dave Castro was fired from CrossFit. Dave Castro was making a return to CrossFit. Dave Castro visited a couple affiliates and had some conversation with affiliate owners about what's kind of going on, right? He did that at Diablo. Craig Howard set the whole entire thing up, invited a ton of us affiliate owners in. Really awesome. Inside of that meeting, Dave said, as an affiliate owner, outside of the media, because that's the biggest push, especially when you talk to the old school affiliate owners, everybody's like, we need more media, dude. We need more content. We need more of a reason for people to be involved. He was like, outside of that, what else do you think would be a good idea? And I said, hey, every single thing that CrossFit should post or does post, as you guys start to put a bunch of media, should be sent to me in an email as an affiliate owner at the end of every month, where I just click a button and I could download everything that you guys posted or didn't post, or just all the content you guys were working with that month, and I could post it on my own social media. Right? So essentially you're just handing us all the content for us to distribute on our own with our own captions and everything else, right? But it's produced by CrossFit. Okay. Right. So then after that, he was like, okay, awesome. Like, that's actually a pretty good idea. Shoot me an email. So
Dave said that,
to which I did. And then these are a summary of the notes of what I talked about. Number 1, the health of the L1 is directly related to the health of CrossFit culture in the company. 2, produce media at scale for the L1 and the L2. This can be done on a very low budget media cost. Produce media on the stories happening inside of affiliates, not only the media to teach and inspire current and future affiliate owners, but more importantly, it reinforces the message of L1. Welcome open source content around the L1 and affiliates from the community. Deliver that media via portal on CrossFit.com or email to affiliates to post it on their own platforms. Deliver the media, strengthens the value proposition for the affiliates twofold. It creates content that shows the expertise of the CrossFit methodology, the L1 professionalism, and strengthens the brand, which helps answer the question, why pay my affiliate dues and not just become a functional fitness gym? But it also creates contents for the affiliates that they could use in their local communities to gain new members. I also believe that this is the best path to international growth as well. Give affiliates periodic discounts on L1 and L2. This is another value proposition of being an affiliate because it helps them aid in building future coaches. In return, the affiliates organically sell the L1 for CrossFit at scale, which is both good for CrossFit and affiliates alike. The CrossFit L1 and the affiliates are self-feeding loop. The more media and attention, the more growth, which in return helps produce more media and so on. This is especially important for international growth. And then there was a few more. See what I just did right there?
You showed me what they're doing or should be doing.
I just took full credit for everything, whether it was actually true or not.
Well. Are you like the toolkit?
So even if they came up with the ideas,
like you came up with the affiliate toolkit, is what you're saying?
No, I didn't come up with it. I'm sure other people had that same.
Tell me what you mean. That's what you mean, right? Like that. This is something that happened before. It's there. You showed him that
2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's not do any of this mumbo jumbo hoobadaba freaking with downfall bullcrap.
Yeah.
You're telling me you came up with the affiliate toolkit.
Sure. I just can't say yes about that because I don't know internally if they were already working on stuff and I just tapped into something that they already had an idea about. But And then on top of that, I went on to say, and this, I don't know, most people would agree with this, but I said, take the cert renewal from 5 years down to 3 years. Give a discount and incentive for L2, L3 over the L1 renewals. Create a platform on the CrossFit.com, like the journal, for all CrossFit related content. Still distribute this content on other platforms like YouTube and Instagram, but make the main hub CrossFit.com. Convert all old articles and lectures into audio form. This will help build the next generation of CrossFitters and further spread the message of the methodology. Leverage new technology, platforms, and personalities to distribute content. Own the narrative of the company and the culture.
I would say that they're not executing on a lot of that.
So I just thought I don't really have any
I like
point to say that.
CBD. I haven't read this yet, but I saw my name. At one point in time, Hiller was an affiliate owner and currently is not. Yet he still trains people. I think his story about why he's not an affiliate explains the lack of value. Well, number one, I'm not paying $4,500 to have my garage affiliated. And I'm stopping at number one.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either. That doesn't seem, and not to mention that, but like you'd have to go through the application process, which has its own set of fees to it. And then you'd also have to get your L1 if you don't already have it currently, and then get your L2 within a year after that.
What does having my garage affiliated do for me in
Nothing.
any way?
Nothing. But you know what I would do is I would make a proposition value to you. And I would say, hey, you could become a garage affiliate. And you're going to say, well, how much does it cost? And I'd say it costs $100 for the year, and you get a CrossFit banner or flag, your choice.
I would do that.
Bingo.
I'd probably do it for $250.
Deal. We just raised the price. We just.
Well, I'm just telling you, to be honest. Like, and if
$150,
$500, I probably wouldn't do that again.
Yeah, but the point being is like, you're like, why would I want to do it? And it's like, well, because you could put yourself on the map, or you could fly the flag, or you could just be a part of the brand and you really want to do it. And for 100 or 200 bucks a year, it's worth it for you as a garage gym, right?
Owner, as I've said 50,000 times, Patrick. I don't know what you're trying to insinuate there, but owner.
And the other reason why I brought that up as far as the bullet points of like what I would do if I was in charge of CrossFit is because I think that in the overarching talk about what we were doing the whole time is that like you or me or other people that are like the negativity in the space or always doing criticism, we never have any solutions. There's never this or that I would like to say that that's not true, that sometimes just the criticisms are louder than the solutions, but all of us kind of want the same thing, which is the growth of CrossFit. And all of us, meaning us media personalities. You get
the content that I don't want for the thing that won't do anything for me, right? Hey.
Okay, last piece though. One of the things also that I did want to highlight real quick about the BSI and CrossFit Medical Society stuff is like it's hard to just spend my knowledge of what was going on because I was in the inner workings of the BSI and I was close to that and I understand what the mission was, right? Or is. And at one point in time when the conversation was first happening, it was never supposed to be like at odds with CrossFit. It was always supposed to be like in conjunction with
BSI
and the Medical Society.
Oh.
Yeah. And it wasn't until that things switched and then CrossFit it that then it became more or less at odds and not in lock and step with or creating a synergy. So it's interesting, but I do think that at the end of the day that there's going to be more resources behind the BSI one and it's going to have a longer term vision because it's actually owned by Greg as opposed to the other one. I think it's just a licensing deal and who even knows how long that'll last for or what their metrics of success within that deal is going to look like for them to continue on with it. And that's kind of the problem with private equity in general.
That's the truth.
That's the truth.
Yeah, what you just said. That's the truth.
Yeah. And that's why I think there's going to be a more of a long-term impact for sure with what's going on over at BSI, just because of the vision, the leadership, and the resources behind it.
How many doctors do you know? Like
personally?
Yeah, that you would see, I don't know, calling on a bi-weekly basis. Maybe, yeah, every 2 weeks. Is that bi-weekly?
Yeah, probably two that go to my gym.
How are they?
What do you mean, how are they? Like just as people?
Yeah. Well,
yeah, They're good. Come in. They're members of CrossFit. I ask them lots of cool
they
questions.
Are they
What's
stressed?
that?
Are they stressed?
They're typically working pretty hard.
Every doctor I know is pretty stressed.
Yeah.
Every doctor I know fell into the scheme that was go to school, do it all these years, get your job, and now they're in their job that they spent all this money to get into, and they're making pretty decent money. They got their families, and now they're stuck, right? And they're being worked like crazy.
Yeah.
Do you see the same thing?
Typically, yeah, because especially too, there's usually massive loans involved with schooling, and then all of that has to be repaid, and the hours are crazy for medical professionals.
I know these doctors that they get like 3 hours of sleep a night, and it's interrupted because they're always on call. And while I'd be wondering if there's a way, because it's like to help out the people, right? And from what I hear, the medical society is a way to cure the world's most vexing problem, chronic disease. That's what I hear, right? And they're trying to do it and bridge a gap with doctors to the normal people who maybe don't know about CrossFit, but the doctors kind of need help. The doctors are screwed from what I've seen.
Right. You mean as far as like time management and actually being able to make an impact in that because they're already so stressed on trying to just do their normal life?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I don't know how they're surviving. From the doctors that I see, I'm like, hey, I enjoy every waking moment of my life. And I don't think that they would say the same just because they're so stressed.
Well, here's the thing I can tell you. When I was going to the DDCs that Greg was putting on at CrossFit back in 2018 to 2019, the doctors that I talked to there, their biggest concern was I got into medical practice because I wanted to make an impact, a contribution, and help people. And they said quickly realizing that the current medical institutions and the way things are set up aren't actually helping them at all. And so now I want to find an alternative way to help my patients. And I think with at least as far as like, and I don't have the whole workings of what the CrossFit group was, as far as it's like they're supposed to be connecting affiliates with doctors, so doctors could use that directory to hand them off to CrossFit affiliates, so that way they could have a alternative healthcare option for them when they're like, hey, you're fat and out of shape and you need to do something about this and eat right and exercise, otherwise you will be on prescription meds and we're going to have this whole issue. So here's your prescription, go see the affiliate. And
you know that there's absolutely no way this works with the current way that CrossFit portrays themselves, right?
What do you mean?
If you take a quick peek through the CrossFit Instagram, YouTube channel, whatever, it's sunshine and rainbows. It's like that scene in Mean Girls with the chick on the stage and she doesn't even go here.
Yeah.
Not everyone get along with everybody. And
right.
Then you're thinking there's all these people. Well, let's say there are 13,000 doctors and 13,000 affiliates, and there's one doctor per affiliate, and that'd be like the golden thing. Let's say that's the vision. That's what they want. Because then if there is a doctor in every affiliate, theoretically, you could send 10 patients, and then there's 10 people who wouldn't have been exposed otherwise in there. You have 130,000 people. But the people who would need to make that jump need a kick in the ass to get in there. They don't need someone I just need everyone to get along with everybody to get into an affiliate. They need someone to write the script and say, well, you're going to die in 5 years, or you can go to the CrossFit gym. And there is a little bit of a nuance to the way that has to be presented.
Right.
But when I say they don't have the way they portray themselves, that's what I'm talking about. They're very much more on a scale from 1 to 10. If it's sunshine and rainbows versus kicking the ass, they're like a 1.5, where they need to be probably like a 7.
And there's no way, and you and I both know that their media is going to push the message that hard to actually bring that up to a 7.
So even if this thing works, it doesn't work because it just doesn't work. There's one way for it to work.
So you like the BSI version?
I would have to. I mean, for the reason in which there's no when they sell, do they get the same help? Do they have help at the moment? Is it like a couple of people over there holding on by a thread trying to do something versus BSI could be there forever? Like,
Right.
yeah, you probably have to go with the BSI version. And it doesn't matter who started it, it's who's going to finish it.
Good point. Good point.
CrossFit can't finish anything.
How much?
We don't even know like who are the teams going to be at the games next year? We've never known that. We never know anything. Well, how can you? It's like hey, you're married to Grace. Let's say when you propose to her, she's not going to freaking be there 3 years from now. It's like, well, I want to have a kid.
Do I want to buy this house with her? I don't know. She's about to leave.
I might need to get a different chick, Grace. You understand, right? It's like, why would you jump on the bandwagon if it's not going to be there? There's no wagon.
Interesting.
That wagon's got no wheels.
And do you think that? Let me ask you this then. With that in consideration, do affiliates think that same way?
Why would you start working out?
So I could be fit and healthy. Look good.
Why would you start using the CrossFit name?
Well, if it was right now.
Mm-hmm. And you're not us. Let's just say that you're someone
just a random person.
You're in Missouri and you're like, I'm going to open a gym. I need to open a gym. I like power cleans, burpees. Should I use the CrossFit name?
At this point in time, I would not, because I just know that would be more of an expense and I could do it without it. And I wouldn't, like, since there's not this big pool to like raise the flag above my gym and like be like, yes, I'm super pumped. I'm a part of this, because they're a level 7 on their messaging and it's all over the place. Then I don't know. I don't think that there's as strong of a value proposition now to be attached to the brand.
You want this?
Yeah.
If the Liver King had started a gym company 2 years ago,
okay,
that would have been, let's say it was the same price, $3,000 versus CrossFit $3,000. 10,000%, you're better off using the Liver King gym brand
because of his reach, the messaging, the attention he's gathering.
Everybody knows what he's doing, and everyone knows where to go to get it. And his reach was more powerful, more potent than CrossFit's.
Damn.
At the moment, he boned himself. Like,
yeah, he really fucked himself with that whole thing.
And now he looks even worse. So
yeah. He should have came out right away and been like, the 10th.
And that's an example of one human being. So I guess the question to anybody who would want to affiliate would be, what do you value your time at? What do you value your people's time at? And do you think you can do more with that per hour versus $4,500 a year? If you think you're worth $100 an hour as a human, are you going to put 450 hours into marketing that's going to be better spent for your particular affiliate? Or would you rather put that into a name and hope it pulls some people in from ground zero? What's 4,500 over a year? It's like
375.
Like an hour and a half a day. You're going to spend an hour and a half a day marketing your own thing for $100 an hour.
Yeah.
That would probably do way fucking more for your gym. But you also have to then say you're dedicated to doing that, because most people aren't. Most people will not put in an hour a day towards their own thing anywhere ever.
Right.
Even as business owners. And no, I think Chris Cooper said this. This is a Chris Cooperism in a way. He was on one of the podcasts with Sevon, and he said the best thing you can do for your own gym is spend the first hour of your day like working on it, not
on the needle mover,
not cleaning, not filling out the books and emailing people, but like trying to reach people, make posts.
Yep.
Do events.
So then, with that being said, last question here. Do you ever see yourself leaving the CrossFit space in terms of your content?
Probably.
Is it weird that kind of made me sad?
Is it weird that I didn't know I was going to say that?
Yeah. Well, here's the way that I see it. You could take any one of the videos that you do, especially like in the groove that you are now, and you could focus in on like a Sam Solik type and just go hard in that arena and probably end up with your 100K followers within a 30-day period.
Yes.
Right.
There's
Like
something that I'm passionate about. There's something that I want to do well. And it becomes increasingly more frustrating that they don't want it anywhere near as bad as I does.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too. I mean, look at where your efforts are going to, look at where my efforts are going to, look at where Savon. I mean, we have to beg and plead to get access to highlight their fucking event and their athletes. We're not even asking them for $1. We're literally asking, can we go back behind that door? And it's a huge fucking deal.
Never put it that way to me ever again, because I might leave tomorrow.
Okay, don't leave tomorrow. You got to at least hang around to the end of my
You
affiliate
hear what
video.
you just said? I never really thought about it like that.
Yeah, it's crazy,
I'm
right?
gonna do all this work for you for free.
For free. Not only for free, but we're going to go hustle to fundraise for it. We're going to ask a lot of favors from the awesome fucking team that we have. We're going to put all of it together. Everybody's going to sacrifice. Everybody's going to work hard as fuck. And we're going to have to work really hard. Rios and Will are going to work really hard in post-production for multiple months afterward. And the only thing we need for them is for one of our people to be able to just follow Dave around.
Which he's done for a decade plus.
Decades.
Ooh.
Fucking mountain of work there, dude. And that for whatever reason with them is this point of like, should they do it or should they not? Should they do it and should they not? It's like, are you kidding me? You let the, and then here's the thing.
Called not having a nutsack is what it is.
Dude, and here's the crazy part. They let this third-party entity, right, last year, come around and follow everybody around. And by the way, if it wasn't for Tyson Oldroyd telling them what CrossFit was and explaining it and trying to lay down the tracks in front of the train as they're moving around, that film crew would be completely lost. And by the way, they're like, well, it's free. It didn't cost us anything. You kidding?
It doesn't sound good to like pat yourself on the back for that.
What do you mean? Oh, like the third-party doc that they didn't pay for it? Yeah, and I mean, we haven't even seen it.
It's the same as saying it's like, yeah, we don't pay those judges, so we don't expect for them to hold a standard. Yeah, yeah. You know that coach that we had at that CrossFit gym? Like, we didn't really expect him to show up on time because we didn't pay him.
Right.
He works for a membership. He'll make his money eventually. That everything you learn is in the affiliate. You know people who work for their memberships, right? Coach 5 hours a month, you get a free membership.
Yep.
It's like, oh, we didn't expect him to show up on time. It's like, oh, that's what you're gonna fucking say. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. I that's crazy. You're right. And when you put it back to me like that, because we do have, coaches that we do like what I call a value exchange, but essentially it's a it's a free membership in terms of their work, but there's an expectation.
Imagine saying that to your members. Like, so-and-so, Joe Schmo wasn't on time in class. Like, yeah, I don't pay him. So sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Because that's what Dave said on his week in review. Well, Hiller's trying to say the affiliates paid for it. It's like, no, we got it for free. It doesn't matter when it comes out.
Yeah. Hold on. If you guys are dog lovers out there, you might want to turn your ears off for this because I'm about to beat this fucking dog. Sebon's dog. Look at these two dicks. Everything they are is because of CrossFit, and yet they're yapping left and right. No shit, motherfucker, because we're trying to save this bitch, dude. Don't you see it? Like, we're here trying to grow the pie. Andrew just reached like 6 million people in the views that he did. He just put up 16 clips of the athletes for freaking free. Recycling Dave's stuff to pay further distribution because it's going to reach more people on Instagram than it is on YouTube. You're going to get more people involved in it, and you're going to get more people involved in the stories of the athletes, which make them want to show up to watch it. If I am not emotionally invested in my athletes, look at what we did for Colton Mertens. If I'm not emotionally invested in my athletes, there is no reason for me to pay the money to travel to the place to watch them freaking work out, dude. And here we are sitting here with my free time, listed out all this stuff. I should have been focusing on my affiliate, but I was focusing on everything, the bigger picture. And now you're going to say, oh, here we are yapping left and right. Yeah, bro, because we're trying to save it, dude. Get up off my shit. I try not to cuss as much when I do those because when I watch them back in retrospect, I'm like, oh shit, I should not swear that much. My mom's going to be upset. Frank, instead of doing HQ's work for them, start an alternative brand and control your future, or join the CrossFit of, okay, another plug. Dude. Didn't you just hear everything we just said? Like, it needs to be underneath one unified brand. Otherwise, it's going to turn into different religions. It's going to bucket everywhere. And
Did you see the clip that Best Hour of the Day put up recently, where it was where it is due, like if you're using burpees and thrusters and power cleans and all that? And I said something in there, it's like, hey, does Mr. Ford owe Mr. Benz royalty payments for every Ford that he's ever used? The one on the right. If you're selling CrossFit, your dues.
Why don't I see this?
Next to the chick with the purple hair.
Okay.
Henry Ford has to continue to pay royalties to Carl Benz.
Into a gym now, they do not look like they looked 10 or 15 years ago.
Correct.
They do not. And that is thanks to what happened in CrossFit. Correct. That is thanks to all
what happened in CrossFit. Here we are. People give us crap about talking about the past, but they're going to try to sell us on why we need to pay them because of the past.
the level ones that happen around the world. So pay your dues.
And you call it values, integrity, but yeah, if you know if you're doing CrossFit, and if you're not paying an affiliate fee, your integrity is suspect.
It's like, how you do something is how you do everything, right?
Right.
That's it. You walk into a gym now, they do not look like they looked.
Henry Ford. The concept of the automobile from Carl Benz, and it's like, hey, everything we are is because of CrossFit. It's like, if you want to always be that, then you're never going to create the Ford. Like, sure.
Yeah. I just, you know what? If you're going down to the bottom of the barrel and saying, one of the strongest reasons is just like an integrity play. What if you told every member that came through your door, hey, we do CrossFit here, but I can't afford to pay for it. And I don't think there's enough of a value proposition, but I just wanted you to know that that's what we do here. So that way I have higher integrity. Rough. All right.
A Reddit thread made about this somehow, some way.
Dude, you and Savon get me wrapped up in Reddit threads. I was just all nice and cozy over here in my own. And
Savon doesn't look at Reddit. He's terrified of Reddit.
I'm terrified of Reddit. The one time I looked at it,
babies.
They called me like Savon's sidekick or something. And they put up that meme of the dude from Always Sunny in Philadelphia when he has like all the conspiracy theory stuff and he's like this and like showing the whole thing. And they're like, here's Savon's little sidekick. This is all he does. And then you know what I did? I was like, these people are so negative. Why would they do that to me? No, I'm just kidding. I was like, fuck, they're right.
And then you turn around, it's like, shit, I even have the whiteboard with the line.
I was literally like, damn, yeah, that's probably kind of accurate. All right. Anyways, thanks for your time, dude. I enjoyed just chatting about all this different stuff with you in a
How old are you?
Different format. What's that?
How old are you?
36.
I'm 32. And Sevon's dog said that all we are is because of something that hasn't really been the same for quite some time. And at what point does anybody owe it to themselves to start to say, well, just because I married you at some point, I don't care that you beat me every night. I got to start talking about it. Because Sevon's dog is essentially saying that, well, you should just basically be happy that you said yes in the first place to the proposal.
Now take
like
your beating.
Bow down to the abusive spouse, man or woman, don't matter. It's been 5 years, and I get beaten every single night. First 5 years were great. We've been married 10 years. It's like Sevon's dog. It's like, you're ridiculous. It's a crazy statement to say that.
Yeah.
You would be nothing without me. You wouldn't live in Florida. You lived in Georgia when we met. We lived in this big house, and you get a bruise here and there. That's fine. You should just be happy that we're in Florida on the coast.
Like, I think he like not apologized for it, but he was like, let it out. Let out the demons. Maybe he wanted to trigger me.
I generally love Sevon's dog. Souza's dog.
Meredith, hi. How are you?
Seems ridiculous. Yeah, see? This is a great solution. Just move to Florida. She figured it out. She saw right through what I was saying.
She solved it. Okay. Well, on that note. All right, everybody.
Bow down, Souza. You and I can bow down.
I am bowing down. I'll bow down. Hillary is making money off the chaos, and arguably so is Matt. I'm making money off of it. Fuck, I wish.
I make money anywhere I can.
I mean, I'm making money off of it at my affiliate, if you count that. But all right, cool. We'll be done. I was gonna turn on like the live call line on, but we're already like at the 2 hour mark here, so we're gonna.
Oh, the reason here. And last thing, because I did bring up how old we are.
Oh yeah.
Because what ends up happening is before you know it, you're 40, you're 50. And if you don't push back on the thing that you think is important, you're going to be old and pissed and dead and and you've never done anything with your life, because there's people out there like Sevon's dog who are going to say stuff like that. You owe everything to this concept. And before you know it, you've done nothing with your life and you're a piece of shit. That's why most people think that it's negative.
No, I'm saying
they would never.
The real thing back without just bashing it as a whole. Were we bashing it as a whole? Or were we bashing the people that were in charge and the decisions that they're making?
I don't know what he's saying here.
I don't know what he's saying here either.
No, I'm saying claim.
Do you have long-term goals? Are you a goal guy? Like a long-term? But you are.
100,000.
Yeah. Okay.
Past that.
Okay.
And
I've always said it.
Hey, you want more on that? If I said 1 million,
yeah,
I wouldn't be doing CrossFit videos. I can't say 1 million.
Damn.
And you know why I can't say 1 million? Because CrossFit themselves couldn't do it right now. They can't. I would venture to bet that if CrossFit and I started at ground zero the time we did, I'd have more than they would.
Damn.
And I say that 99% certainty. It wouldn't be hard. We just have to go look at the videos we put up and see what they've done with them since. You want to do that real quick? You got to go.
Kind of, but I'm also.
Shut up. You don't got to go.
Yeah. What do I got to do? What are we looking up? The YouTube channel? Are you bringing this up?
I got it. Here, let's see. Let's see if I can do this quick. People like when I do this.
Oh, Social Blade Analytics.
Yeah. So if we just go to like, what have they done in the past year? How many subscribers have they put on? So they're at 1.272.
Yeah.
Oh, they put on 30,000 subscribers in the past year. For January, February, March, April. Since April of last year, they put on 30,000.
Hey, dude, I bet you that if I had just the backing of the CrossFit name, like, so it was anonymous, like this dude is like, whatever, call it the spokesperson for CrossFit, we could pump that fucker up.
But so look at this.
I would leverage so many relationships.
Basically every week they put on 1 million views, right?
Is that across all their social media stuff, or is that just across their YouTube?
Just YouTube.
Okay.
So 5, 6, 7 versus. So they put on 36 million views this year. Right?
Okay.
And I guess we can see how many videos they put up. Total videos. They have like a videos tab. Total video views. Videos gained. We would have to go count them because I don't think there's a metric for that. Total videos put up. But 36 million views, dude, in a year. And they haven't put up anything. So basically we can see how many views they've gotten versus how many the videos they've put up.
Hey, what if Don changed his thing? Instead of 30 million CrossFitters, he was like 100 million views.
You just sparked my mind on something.
What?
The Open. How
Yeah.
many people signed up for the Open?
Was it like just over 300,000 or something?
And how many views did this final Open announcement have?
I don't know, like 1 million something, right?
Right. And how many live concurrent viewers were there?
In the 100,000s, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm. And I want to say it was even approaching 200,000, right?
Okay.
Do that math for me. How does that make any sense? You have 300-something thousand people signed up, and every single one of them is watching the Open announcement live, essentially.
Yeah.
Listeners, JTM here, and I wanted to take a moment to
Oh,
thank
what
our
is that?
sponsor, Serviceware. Serviceware is an Apple-authorized service provider located in
That's not me.
This family-owned and operated business started in 1981.
It's my phone, but it's not playing anything.
Turn the volume down on it, you crazy son of a bitch.
I don't even know where that was playing from.
Turn the volume down on the phone.
That was a big service plug where for that's awesome.
I never looked at it that way, but when you look at it that way, it makes it increasingly obvious that they purchased views on that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because there's like more people that were interested, less people that were interested in the thing, and their views didn't match the amount of people that were participating.
330,000 or so sign up 200,000 watched live. That is not an accurate representation. And if you want to stretch it out to the number of views it got in open, watched it 3 times, and there's no way in hell.
What about people that watch it that didn't sign up for the open?
You think?
Interesting.
You think that there's 700,000 people who didn't sign up that watched the open announcement? And you think that those same people wouldn't just kind of like peek in at the other videos here and there? Because they don't.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Relative to like the other stuff that they have up too.
Mm-hmm. The biggest tell was when they had those interruptions. Remember those commercial breaks that they had for no reason, and they would lose 50,000 concurrent viewers for some reason?
Yeah.
That shouldn't happen. It doesn't happen unless they're bots, and the people who bot them are like, send them back in. And it's not people telling them, it's an algorithm. They're live, they're off. They're live, they're off. They're live, they're off. What would motivate them to buy followers or buy views? It saves jobs. That's crazy. Year over year, we've done more than ever to promote the open, and look, it's working. And, we've gotten those emails that show that CrossFit's engagement was better than ever during the open. It's stronger than ever. I don't know what the common narrative is out there, but they're lying because we had more concurrent viewers than we've ever had. But they weren't real. Oh, shit. Dude, if that's true, that's fucking crazy, dude. Use your brain, homie. I mean, Devon Podcast has 30,000, some of the strongest communities. Yeah, we're getting close. There, right? Yeah. Now, that would be the same as you guys at some point having 20,000 live viewers. Closest that I think I've seen it come to is like in the 3s. I don't remember what the occurrence was, but there was maybe it was like a post-game show, but it was like just over 3,000 concurrent. And that's 10%. And that's massive. Yeah, that's massive. Yeah. And generally a good show will be in like the low thousands, right? It's like, oh, wow, that was good. We killed it. 12 to 1,500 concurrent. And CrossFit Games had 1/3. No, not 1/3, 2/3. Or sorry, I'm talking about in relation to subscribers, but this is with views. You hear what I'm saying though, right? Yeah. There's no way in hell. Yeah. Shit. All right. Well, on that note, thank you everybody for joining us. Well, we covered a lot of shit in this. That's crazy. It'd be 5% of their total viewers. But they've been up since, I don't know, what, 2016, 2015, the Games channel went live. Mm-hmm. Wow. All right. I was hoping we'd end on like a big spark here. You know what I could do? We'll do. Look at the Taylor thing, the meat and fruit. I don't have that one, but I got this this song. I was playing this one when I broke down the Dawn thing just because of the chorus of it. You know what the song is? I need a dollar, that's what I need. Yep. Life right there. Oh shit. All right, guys. Peace out. Go over. I think Pedro's got a show going on with Taylor Self and Seth Page with Jump Ship. Go over there, hang out with those guys. Thanks for sitting down and chatting with Hiller and I. Are we going shirtless right at the end? Beautiful. Okay, that's our cue. All right, guys. Peace out. Thanks for joining us.